Welcome to the Kee To Growth Podcast, Home Services Marketing Unlocked, with me, your host, Jen McKee. Every week, I sit down with top marketers in the trades, from the brains behind $100 million companies to those scaling from 1 to 3, even to 10 million, breaking down exactly how they got where they are and uncover the secret to their success. If you're ready to grow your business and get real, actionable insights, you're in the right place. Let's unlock the key to your marketing success, starting now.
Hey friends, it's Jen McKee, your host of the Kee To Growth Podcast. If you're a home service leader who's ready for bigger growth, stronger leadership, and more visibility in 2026, listen up. I'm hosting something brand new. The Growth Experience is a powerful 2-day conference happening right here in my hometown of San Antonio, Texas. This event is designed for you if you are an owner or leader who wants to scale smarter with profit-first financial clarity, stronger leadership and sales systems, real operational efficiency, how to use AI tools, and of course, modern marketing visibility that actually works. You're going to learn from incredible speakers, connect with the brightest minds in the trades, and walk away with strategies you can use immediately in your business. VIP spots will even get full content capture experience in two deep dive workshops on confidence, leadership, and storytelling. Tickets officially go on sale January 8th if you have saved your seat on the waitlist. Waitlist gets first access, best pricing, and early VIP access. So go to thegrowth-experience.com to get on the list. Trust me, this is a room you're going to want to be in. March 30th through April 1st, 2026 in San Antonio, Texas. See you there. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Kee To Growth Podcast. I am your host, Jen McKee, and today we have an incredible powerhouse guest on with us. I am so excited to dive into all things marketing, but also just how to make more consistent money in your trades business. Today, I have Danielle Putnam from The New Flat Rate. Danielle, if people don't know you, will you please introduce yourself?
Oh, hey, Jen. Thanks so much for having me. Great to be here today. I am Danielle. I am the CEO of The New Flat Rate, and I'm a product of the trades, really. My dad was a contractor, grandparents, contractors, and uncles, brothers, very much, whole family line of contracting business, and that has been life. So we talk about it, and then my husband is actually he's not a contractor, but he's a home remodeler. And so it's constantly, what about this? What about that? And we're always renovating and trying and building. And of course, I can't help it to be like, hey, that project you just did, what did that cost? What did they charge? Did they use a menu? And so that's who I am in the day to day. And I'm also a mother of 4 beautiful children, and I'm most excited about them. And I veer off to talk about them all the time.
I love that. How old are your kids?
10, 8, 5, and 3.
Goodness gracious. That's fun. Very fun. Okay. So there's like a couple of things I want to ask about, but let's just start with what is the new flat rate and how can people better their business just from using that? And not even like, I just want to preface this because sometimes I get really excited about people's businesses, but this is a resource for all of our listeners. And I think that the new flat rate can be a really great resource for you. So tell us more about that.
Oh, thanks for asking, Jen. You know, what's so cool about service providers is they actually are very good at knowing, hey, I showed up at a job site and maybe it's a leaky toilet, and they can take a look and know, you know what, that's going to take me about a quarter of an hour. They know. They do this every day, and they know, hey, the parts are going to be about XYZ. And so they can actually go out and they can price a job. And I know that they're good at that. Where the new flat rate comes in is we say, hey, quit giving away your time, talent, expertise for free, because you know how much time and you know the materials, but what about all the other value that you're bringing to the table? And so we're a pricing system that has already built in 5 different levels. So anything that you diagnose in the home, contractors, technicians, they simply use our app to show the homeowner a menu of services to say, hey, on this toilet repair, here's some options. What should we do? And 80% of the time, the homeowner moves themselves up No sales pressure required. And something else, Jen, is as owners, you're really great at knowing your costs and knowing your truck roll for the day. But as you hire and build out your company, um, by osmosis, it's like, hey, price that job the way I just did. And then we get a little bit, oh, come on, help me. I'm thinking of water flowing diluted. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's coming to me, diluted down the line, right? And so we want a system that continues to maximize every opportunity in the home as we hire technicians and juniors and apprentices so that they can go out and price jobs and be just as profitable for your company as when you go out and price a job.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was just thinking. So, obviously we talk a lot about marketing here, but there's so many ways to like stretch your marketing dollars and really understand how much money you're bringing into your company. So, does the new flat rate does it help you see with more clarity like how much you're making off of each job and take into consideration all of the things that you're paying for?
Yeah. Yes would be more correct than yeah. Who says yeah? So yes, but it's more about increasing the revenue. So on the daily, people are leaving opportunity and money on the table because they'll show up at a job site and they'll say, "Hey, it's just $250, take it or leave it." But when given a menu, a customer buys more, and all of a sudden they're spending 500, 800 instead because they don't want this to happen again. They want a better warranty. They might want a more premium service repair or part, and you didn't know that, right? And so as they buy more, your revenue is increasing. So yes, you can, know what the costs are on that and stuff too, but we focus more than the accounting side on the let's increase the revenue side.
So I'm curious because a lot of people, so we run Facebook ads for people. We have some clients that are killing it on Facebook ads. Like they're making millions of dollars on
Awesome.
Facebook ads. But it does take it's a different kind of job than a job that someone's calling and has this like massive problem.
Yeah.
It's more of a sales job that you have to go in and find these opportunities. So do you guys have something set up for that, or is that something that you've encountered as well?
Yeah, I love it. It goes to me when you said that hand in hand, kind of like with the loss leaders. So are you saying
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
fix this or tune up or something
Yeah,
for
they're like,
$29?
right. They're maintenance jobs at
Yeah.
$89, $59, whatever.
Right. It's fantastic because all of a sudden you have an opportunity to build a relationship. And I like to say, let's make more best friends, right? Let's
Yeah.
increase and let's get more best friends into our world as a company. And so you're making more best friends, you're bringing more people into your world. And so then it's scripting. And so we do a lot of training and coaching around scripting, very simple, but let's just follow a process of, hey, thanks so much for responding to our offer. It's going to be $29 or you said $89 today for that. Is that what you understood? Excellent. Well, I don't expect to, but while I'm go ahead and working on that for you, if I should find anything that's affecting the performance, the safety, the mechanical, area of your home, do you want me to tell you about it or do you just want me to forget that I saw anything? Right. And so simple scripting, I'm not even a technician, so mine wasn't as good as your listeners would be, doing that.
But I feel like that was so good. And I think people get like scared and I think any sales conversation or any sales training will help you with this, but people get so scared of like, well, I like feeling like that's a negative thing, but also like, why would you not tell somebody? Like, it's such a positive thing to make people aware of what could potentially be a problem further down the road or even like a problem tomorrow.
Especially when you're getting their permission. And so would you like me to tell you about it or just pretend I never saw it? Oh, well, tell me about it. Oh, okay, great. No problem. I'll go ahead and I'll get to work. So you start working on the reason that they called you out there. So that's going to be primary because that's why you're there, right? You don't want to inconvenience them. And so then when you're ready to go back and talk to your customer, hey, I went ahead and I took care of that for you. And like I said, if I saw anything else, I'll bring it to your attention. So I'm a little concerned. Here's what I found that's affecting the safety of your home. And so what we do in our pricing system is we want to show multiple options. We want to build out our shopping cart, you could say, or our summary of findings, depending on the terminology in your business, right? And so you're going to add a bunch of menu pages to that summary of findings. You might have 5, you might have 10, you might have 40, whatever you found in the home, you might have 2. So you're just got to go back to the customer and say, hey, I'll just show you a couple of these options. And you just flip through. When I was in the master bathroom, I noticed this. Here's some
Yeah.
options for it. Would you like to do anything? No? Okay, cool. When I was downstairs in the basement, I noticed this. Would you like to do anything? Oh, yeah. Okay, great. I'm a little concerned because this is affecting the performance of your water heater because of XYZ, right? And so then customers astound us, Jen, with they might choose a premium platinum option for the most random things. And they might choose a basic, quick, or skip over something else, depending on their experience in the home or their plan for tomorrow. To your point, they might be moving. They might be staying
Yeah.
forever. We don't know. And so this allows them to tell you what they want without any sales pressure. So I love that the Facebook ads are working. And I believe that with a very good dynamic pricing system paired with those, we can maximize the opportunities, increase cash flow in our company, and do it in a duplicative manner so your technicians can do it also. They don't have to be superstar salespeople because you got 20% that might be really great closers and 80% historically are not. And so let's give them a system that does it for them.
I love that so much. So do you find that people are okay, so do you get into situations where people are worried about raising their prices or adding more prices and that it would make people not want to buy from them?
All the time. Yeah. And majority of contractors that we take a look at are undercharging. And so that's okay. Let's just find out where we are, right? And so let's be honest with where we are today so that we can decide, do we want to change? Do we not want to? Most don't make changes very often in their pricing. And so if we're going to, usually most prefer to just incrementally increase a little bit because also for their technicians, and one of the biggest concerns isn't even customers, it's, well, I don't want my team to freak out or all of a sudden these big prices, right? They feel like we're gouging, then they lose trust. And so we can raise by 5%, we can raise by 10%, by 2%, we can incrementally start stair stepping up a little bit. And then the awesome thing about options is on day one, Jen, you actually don't have to raise at all. You can keep that bottom price very comparable to where you're priced at in the market today. And then the additional opportunities, that's all your raise. So if your customer just wants to pay what they paid yesterday, no problem. The 80% buy more. And so all of a sudden, you're increasing the revenue. So stair stepping is a good way to do it. Adding, if you're just pricing one option now, adding a good, better, best or a 5-tier can help move you in that direction.
Do you guys, so another thing that I see here is the opportunity for remarketing after presenting these solutions to customers. And so, like you said, they go in there, they get permission to find all of these, just to make sure that everything's working okay or find potential opportunities. And then is there something in your system, or do any of your customers do this, where then they have like this data that they can put into Service Titan or some sort of AI tool that's like then able to reach out to the customer and be like, hey, so remember last month when we were in there, like, is this still working okay for you? Is that something that you guys have utilized or put in place?
Yeah, I love that you said it, the remarketing, the follow-up. It's so important. And wouldn't we all agree, in all of our businesses, no matter your size,
Yeah.
is it possible that that's the biggest opportunity of low-hanging fruit that we have?
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
you've already touched that customer. You've already interacted with them. They already know who you are. So whether they just bought a little bit that day or didn't buy at all, forgetting to follow up is like stabbing ourselves in the heart. Like, what are we doing, right? And we
Yeah.
all do it. And so, yes, if an option page is shown and the customer does or doesn't choose options, then we absolutely want to flag that in our Service Titan or House Call Pro or whatever it is that we're using. And then we know also with the new flat rate, what wasn't selected. And so they can follow up. And then definitely want to encourage, and you probably work with people on that. Let's think about and set up a follow-up sequence. And these things,
Yeah.
as you know, and I know your audience does too, this is a really great place to use AI very easily. Is what's a good follow-up sequence, and then what software do you already have that you can put in place to do that. And it might be, and it's okay if this is the case, it might be a ticker folder that's there on your desk. These are the ones that, I gave options to last week. They didn't take them. And so then you just walk in and you say, hey, Sally, hey, Bob, please call them today. And so
Yeah.
if we're at that level, that's okay. But please have something, have a file folder, something where we're following up. But many of you are very sophisticated. So it's a good reminder to take a look at your automations and make sure you're getting a result. Make sure that they are going out. You are texting, you are emailing, you are calling your customers, and that remarketing piece, because yes, we have the data of these are the options that were shown. This is what the customer did not do, which means that there was a problem. I feel like that's a long answer, but the technician have also
No,
notes, right?
I actually like want to even reiterate that more, because I think that it, from a marketing standpoint, we're always looking at like, okay, we need more sales. Like, what are we doing in marketing? And sometimes it's just looking back at what we already have and putting systems in place. I know that you just said to the audience, like, you can put it in a manila folder, and you can, but I encourage you to find some sort of automation, because it is unlikely that humans will be as good as an automation tool in following up. And there are some incredible, what's so cool about the trades, and I keep saying this, and I'm going to just keep saying it, is because like everybody is scared of private equity, but because private equity is paying so much attention to the trades, which actually has to do with the trades being an industry that isn't going anywhere. So it's a valuable industry. But because of that, tech companies are paying attention to the trades and just putting so much incredible technology available. There's so much technology available. So if you aren't, and that's where trade shows are so great, right? Because you're able to like see what's out there, and there's really, really cool stuff out there. And so there's technology that will follow up with these leads through text, through email. I was recording a podcast last week, which will likely be honestly, it's probably going to be the episode that's released right before this one. And that guest recommended, it was Brigham Dickinson. So if you want to go back and look for that one, he recommended actually incentivizing your team to book these types of leads. And I love that idea. Like, if, like, incentivize them $25 every time that they book one of these upsells. And so that they will call them over and over again. And because if you have the opportunity to book $25 4 times a week, $100 a week, that's an extra $400 a month. That's an extra 20. I don't know. It could be more than that. I'm not sure, but it's just like, it's such a great opportunity for like an easy bonus for your team to bring in much more revenue.
Bringing your team into being a part of follow-up, customer follow-up, so that they're excited about it and so that they can understand the opportunities for the company is definitely,
I know.
right. But I think that it's the lowest hanging fruit in all of our businesses, is all the leads and opportunity that we've already been handed and we just throw away because we don't follow up, because we're like, oh no, let's just react to today. And so even having key people in your company that are assigned to following up and, the remarketing is really key.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I also think that another really great thing about this remarketing is that this is somebody that you've already started a relationship with, like you said from the beginning. And so this isn't even like a lead that just expressed interest. This is a lead that you already went out to and already had an experience with. And so they're much more likely to trust you. And so not only should they be in a remarketing campaign, they should also be in all of your all of your marketing. Like, you should be targeting them on Facebook. You should be sending them emails on a weekly basis. You should be sending them your mailers. You should be offering them referrals. You should be thanking them for their business at any opportunity that you can.
I also love when people have the service manager or somebody call and do the follow-up happy call, or just the follow-up of, hey, I noticed that, we were concerned about this and you didn't choose to do anything about it today. Do you mind telling me why? Because often they might have went with somebody else, and who would they tell the honest truth to? You might have to ask a couple different ways, a couple different times. But it has shocked me. Oh gosh, Jen, I've said this story before, but this past year, our oven, we had a tech come out and it was 7:00 on a Monday night. He takes our oven out of the wall, sets it in the middle of the kitchen floor, disassembles it, and then we determine, okay, we have to have a new oven. And so it doesn't go back in the wall. Like, it's just like not going to go back in the wall. So then it gets to sit in the breezeway, and now we have this big hole in the kitchen for so long that I forgot. I was like, and so the new people would come over the house and they're like, what's that? I was like, oh, that's where the oven used to be. So we went months without an oven. Nobody from that company called. Nobody followed up,
Yeah.
right? And
Isn't that crazy?
well, it was, but so we, of course we were thinking, well, maybe we'll go to Lowe's and get one, or maybe we'll do this, or maybe we'll do that. But they still, even if Lowe's is an option, if they would have called, they probably would have gotten it. Because
I
instead, I went
know.
about 4 months without an oven, and I got 4 kids. I'm like, what do we do with this?
Yeah.
How do I
I
cook
think
chicken
about
nuggets?
I think about that stuff all the time. I think that business owners probably do in some capacity think about that, like
Hmm.
experiences where you're like, man, if they would have just followed up with me, that would have been easier than me continuing to think about it or trying to figure out another solution. Like I think about that with my dentist. I'm like, gosh,
Mhm.
if they would just text me
Thank
and
you.
like and make it so easy.
I
Like
know.
text me, someone's texting me back if I respond. It's not just automated, like say yes or no or
Yeah,
whatever, like I would be in there and I would be so grateful. And
I
my
know.
doctors and my HVAC company to come do my maintenance, like everybody, if they
Hmm.
just had a text automation,
If
it
they
would be so
just
much
did.
easier.
But I have a lot of empathy for business owners because I know it sucks. Like as a business
Right.
owner, it's like I know
No, it's not
they
like I'm perfect. I just think about what everybody else could do. That
but
would make
they've
my life
said
easier.
I want that too, right? But they have told their teams, "Hey, follow up on those leads." They have,
Yeah.
right? This isn't new for them. They have. They
That's where
know.
that incentive comes in. I think that's so good.
Well, and you gotta follow up and hold them accountable until it changes. And
Mhm.
so I guess what we're saying here, Jen, is that we know this is great opportunity, and maybe you've put that in place in the past, but now's a great time to go back and inspect it. Is that
Yeah,
workflow working? Is it the best automation it can be? Can I elevate it and take it to a new level of excellence? Like, what
that's
can
true.
I do to make it better? Because there is still opportunity there,
Yeah,
or we wouldn't be talking about it because we experience it. We all do. And
I love that.
something that's so brilliant, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. My brother says this. He's like, people call you with the intention to buy.
Right.
Always. They don't call to get a service call because they don't want to buy. They call with the intention to buy. So
Mhm.
let's sell them something.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Good quote right there. Write it down. What's your brother's name? We'll put his little
Matt Cope, Koop. He
I love
deserves that
that.
credit.
That's so good. Key Heart Marketing specializes in Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube to build your brand awareness or drive leads using social media ads. If you're ready to elevate your social media, go to keyheartmarketing.com or follow us on social media. I want to get into something you kind of mentioned before we got started here. So when this episode is going to be released, like we'll have been past the hump of like New Year, feeling super motivated and be looking at Q2, which feels a little bit like slower. And so you brought up talking about like being not so reactionary, but instead like putting things in place. So do you want to talk a little bit about
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, it's really frustrating as a business owner when, or as a team, right? When we recognize, wait a minute, I'm just putting out fires today, or
Yeah.
there's no calls on the board. How did we get in this position? Like we're slow right now. There's no calls on the board, and I'm putting out fires. I've got a whole team of people with no work. Revenue's down, can't make payroll. Like, how did I get in this position? And then we're just putting out fires. And so, just a great reminder for all of us to step away from the firefighting and look forward to a strategy. And it's easy for people that sit in an office all day long, that live, breathe marketing, to say, you should have a marketing strategy.
Mm.
But sometimes we're like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, is it goals, marketing goals? Like, 3 newsletters a year? Like, what are we talking about? But a strategy is just, where overall do we want to go to, and what are a couple levers we can pull along the way? So if we recognize that we're going into a shoulder season, what are the things that we know we could do and have ready for our teams that we could be training on, right? Is it phone calls? Is it automated text messages? Is it email? And right, so thinking ahead a little bit, because there are things that we can do. So I wanted to mention that. I think too often we're like, oh, we need to grow, and let's this and that. Well, what about this? Let's make better social, posts today.
Yeah.
Well, no, it can't just be today. It has to be, hey,
Yeah.
this quarter, this spring, we are going to post 5 times a day on every one of our channels. We needed to
Yeah.
think ahead, because then all of a sudden, okay, well, who's going to be recording? Oh, well, have Natalie do the social posts. Okay, well,
Yeah.
is Natalie natural at that? Is she already doing that? Are you asking her to step outside of her lane? Is it going to be consistent and duplicatable? Or are we creating more work for somebody that's not their natural talent? Like, there's strategy to think through in advance so that we can execute. And our ability to grow businesses really falls on our ability to execute well the strategy
Yeah.
that was preset. And so I think with marketing, that's really important, is thinking ahead. And then the other thing I wanted to hit on, I'll pause so you can
Yeah.
comment.
Pause actually, because I want to say something about that, because even though I run a social media marketing agency, social media is just one part of your entire marketing strategy. And I struggled a long time for building out a marketing strategy. Because I have a marketing brain, I was able to just like throw things at the wall all the time. Like, oh, we should do this. We should do this. We should do this. But never like having an actual plan. So last November, we actually implemented EOS in our company. I've talked about it a lot on the podcast. Thank you. It's like one of the coolest things I've ever done, especially because I'm such a visionary. Like, having a system in place to actually get things done is the most amazing thing. And to really, what is the word? Give it to my team, like allow them to also bring their genius and their talent in. But the marketing, the quarterly marketing plan is on our rock every single quarter. And I don't see us taking it away, because I love that being a priority. And I'm able to then dump all my ideas into ChatGPT and like work through when we would need to start executing them by. And not to say that we don't still like do crazy things at short notice sometimes, but having it more laid out where it's like, well, we want more visibility, so we're going to get on other people's webinars in Q2. That was one of the things that we did. And we got on like 4. But if that wasn't a priority, because there's things you have to do before you get to that step. So like having it as like, okay, this is what we're going to do. Okay, now work backwards. And this is when you need to have this done by, and this is when the emails will go out, and this is when your social posts will go out, and this is when the ads will get started. And this is like, that is so much easier than we actually, like, we had a client recently reach out, and I'll say we're recording this Thanksgiving week, and they reached out last week and said, hey, we want to do a Black Friday special. That's not enough time. I'll tell you that. Like, for even if you were doing it all yourself, that is not enough time. You have to have been thinking about this and have a plan in place and have all of the assets done, and then have it start executing well before. So I think Black Friday is a really good example of when we all get in this like, oh, you know what we should do? But like, you think about it like the week before, and it's like, no. Actually, like, if you're executing a real Black Friday strategy, you need to start that in July, in August, like not in November. And I'll also say, just side note, because podcasts are evergreen, and maybe you're listening to this next November, but Black Friday is it is not the best time to put together an offer. It feels like it because everyone else is, but that's just the thing. Everyone else is. And I will also say that the big brands are spending millions and millions and millions of dollars in that weekend. And so it's very, very hard to stand out in your emails, in your ads, in whatever. So don't jump on Black Friday. Do other things that are really unique and special to you. You can do it anytime. You could do because your anniversary, or like just make up a day. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever you want to do, make it up, and you'll have a lot more visibility because you'll be the only one doing it.
Yeah, that's a great point. And as visionary entrepreneurs, we don't usually want to be tied down to a strategy, because that sounds like you're making us like step inside a box, and we
what
don't
if
like
something
that.
else happens?
Yeah, we want to be creative when we feel creative. We don't want you to hold us to something, right? But what's great about having the strategy and the plan and thinking ahead, although we don't always want to do that, is then your team can be a part of it and help you.
Right.
And your team
Then you
wants to
have
help
it.
you.
Right. Then,
They just
like,
don't
I
know
was in a
how they
meeting
can help you.
yesterday where they're like, okay, Jen, now who's going to do this? Like, we can't just say we're going to do it. We have to assign it to somebody, and it has to have a deadline. And I'm like, you're right. Thank God you're here, because I would just be like, we're going to do it, and it'll get done at some point.
But they want to too, and they can't read your mind. So it's like, oh, the boss wants this done today. Well, if you're thinking ahead and you're including them, then they can help with the ideas and the resources. And it's, Alex Ramosi, I'm pretty sure, is the one that says it, there's no lack of resources, just a lack of resourcefulness. And that goes through my head all the time. is when we group think, we're like, what resources do we actually have? Who do we know? What other companies in our town are our best allies? Like, who do we know that can
Yeah.
help us to make this so much bigger than it was going to be originally? How can we be more resourceful? That's so key with marketing, because you can do one, but all right, what other resources do we have?
I love that.
Which jumps directly into, I'm training for my first marathon right now. And so everybody gets to hear about it 24/7. And every day it's like nothing but running talk. And
When is it?
see, exactly, running talk. Thanks for asking. December 14th, it's coming.
Yeah, our city marathon is next weekend. So that I figured it was coming soon. Yours was too. That's cool.
Yes. So I've been training for, 3 months, I guess. And on Saturday was our long run. It was 21 miles. And it was the first day in this whole 3 months. I injured my knees. I fell and I traumatized my knees at the very beginning
Oh
of training. So I've been
no.
running through pain this whole time. And finally on Saturday is the first time my knees didn't hurt. I'm like, oh my gosh, I see the end in sight. We're going to make it. Anyway, in this whole running thing, which ties to my business every day, because I'm just
Yeah.
thinking and
I
growing
love
and
that. Yes,
focusing
yes.
and, doing things that I couldn't do before. I've never ran a marathon. I didn't know I could run 21 miles, right? But we practice, we build, we strengthen these muscles. But reading something about it, they're like, well, as you're running, you get a running coach, right? Yep. And then
Yeah.
you're hearing and you're learning all about it. And a progression, knock on wood, I hope this is not ever me, but after you become a runner, a competitive runner, it's not enough. You got to have something else. So then you're going to start swimming, and then you're going to start biking, and then you're going to go for the Ironman, right? Like, there's always something more. And so what are you going to do next? You're going to go to your running coach. You're going to be like, hey, do you have any swim coaches? So my point is with resourcefulness, with marketing, with referrals, like, who in your town needs to be your best alliance? And so who
Yeah.
would have thought that a running coach and a swimming coach need to actually be buddies because they can have an alliance and pass leads back and forth all day long? It's so random. And I know we all always say, well, HVAC and plumbing, you should refer business to each other. But there's so many more alliances if we could be resourceful with our strategy of what neighborhood do we want to work with, who is already there, who just did all the siding in that neighborhood, who just
Yeah.
did all the landscaping in that neighborhood. Like, who do we need to, who's our resource, who's our friend, who do we sit next to at the chamber? Like, there are people, there are things that are already there in your sphere, in your world. We just need to remember them.
I love that. And like realtors and people who are already talking to everybody, those are really connectors, finding the connectors. I love that. That's so good. I love your also connection between business and running. I do CrossFit, and I started running this year, not marathons. I don't have a desire. Maybe I probably will, but I just don't. No, good for you. I'm very happy for you.
Or
I
crazy,
ran
I don't know.
Yeah, I ran a 10K. That's the furthest I've run, but the same thing. Like, I didn't know I could do that. This is the
Yes.
first year and the first time I've ever done that in my life. And it felt easy. And I know
Awesome.
that to some people that is crazy, but it did. It was like, my body has done this and it's prepared for this, but there's a huge connection between business and fitness. And a lot of it is just because you're pushing yourself to do something that you've never done before and trusting that you're going to be able to do it. And that you're going to get stronger. You're going to not be as great at it when you start, and you're going to get better as you go. Like, I love it. That's such a good analogy, but also a great analogy in that referral base too. And I kind of the last thing that I just want to bring up, and just because I like to be sure to bring this up when it's relevant, but you were the president of the Women in HVACR. You're still an active member of Women in HVACR. So tell us a little bit about like what your time was there and why this is a great organization for women. I kind of set you up there.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. I'm not an OG, but yet I kind of feel like I am a little bit, because my first time going to a Women in HVAC event was back in 2012, I believe. 2012, I walked by the room and I was like, hey, what are those ladies? There's like 20 of them in there, or 30,
Yeah.
right? And then so I got involved early, and then I joined the board a couple years later, and so I was the 2019 president, which was so wonderful. And I love the best friends that came out of there, the connections in the industry. I had somebody here local in town the other day be like, yeah, you need more girlfriends. I'm like, I have a lot of girlfriends.
Yeah, they just don't live
And
here.
they just don't live here, right? But that's okay because often I'm driving home or I'm driving here and there, and I scroll through my phone and I'm calling other members of Women in HVAC. Like
Yeah.
those are the people I call on my drives. Hey, how you
Yeah.
doing? What's going on in business?
I
And
love
so
that.
it's people that are real, that share, that are climbing, that want more, that want to climb in their careers, they want to help each other. And so they've all joined this group and it is growing so fast now. We went from 20, 30 to 500,000.
I
So
know. It's
it's
so amazing.
it is amazing, and I love so much how many businesses have said, "Wow, we would love to invest in our women at our office and buy their memberships and help them to be a part of
Mm-hmm.
it and send them to the annual conference." I remember being on the board early on, and they kept talking about conference, conference, conference. I'm like, "What is this conference? Like, what do you mean conference? What is this?" It's their annual conference, where everybody goes, and we've got keynotes and sessions and self-improvement and, education, and you meet a lot of different manufacturers and products and services. So I love women in HVAC. I love the women in it. Can't say enough about what it has done for me personally, the encouragement, the career growth that it's provided. One of my favorites is the mentorship program. Scholarships too. Scholarships are
Yeah.
so important for our industry. Thank you for everybody for your generosity pouring into women HVAC if you do, so that we can provide more scholarships to bring more people into the trades and help them to grow in their careers, because we need legacy. We need people here, right? But the mentorship program says, hey, I'm struggling over here. What do I do? My boss wants me to learn XYZ. I don't know what to do. And I apply through the Women in HVAC program. They pair me with Jen, and all of a sudden Jen's like, "Hey, Danielle, I got you. I
That's
can
so
help you with
cool.
this." Right?
I love that.
It's the best.
I know. And I just threw that curveball at you, but I also have found so much community in that organization. And I'm grateful that here at Marketing gets to be a part of it. We're on the marketing committee and help with the social media, but it's been such a special thing. And they truly have the best conference for women in the
Yeah.
industry. It's so different than any other conference. And I love conferences, but that
Yeah.
one is just so different.
Mhm.
And so fun. They're all fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't say that, but it's just so fun. It's like a
Yeah.
very, very different vibe and experience. So
Yeah.
if you aren't familiar, go check it out. The conference just ended, but
Mhm.
it's coming again next year.
They do a really great job in the pre-planning of what can we do. Let's have an extravaganza, let's have something crazy where everybody gets to dress up, and let's do these, different kinds of activities. They're really good, where some of us realists would be like, yeah, you can't have, 500 people doing that. And they're like, yes, we can. And
Yeah,
it's neat.
for sure. I love that. All right. So we've come to the end of our episode here. And at the end, we ask all of our guests the same question. So you're on the Kee To Growth podcast. So what would you say is the key to growth?
In marketing, that was a long
It could be in
pause.
anything. It could be anything. Whatever you see as the key to growth.
Personally, for me, the key to growth is always be growing, right? And that's probably something that many people have always said, but always be growing. And we can't stop, because we're either growing or we're dying. Our businesses, ourselves personally, our health, our family, our friendships, we always have to be growing. And and we can't stop. And what does that look like for you in this season? And so, in regards to marketing and pricing, if I may give a quick little example, it's that let's evaluate, where's the bar? Where are you right now? What marketing methods are you using? What pricing methods are you using? And evaluate them today and think, how can I elevate them just a tiny bit, just inches? And those inches will take you miles. So let's just elevate a little bit right now by evaluating, where are we today, because we always have to be growing. So Key to Growth is
I
a
love
great
that.
podcast.
So good. I love that. Okay. So if people want to find you, want to connect with you, where should they go?
Our website's thenewflatrate.com. Find me on LinkedIn. I'm on there all the time. I love to chit chat with people. My name's Danielle Putnam. And of course, connect with me there. Facebook, Instagram. Would love to be your friend. I believe that we need more friends in our lives, and it makes life easier going through it together. Shoot us an email anytime, Danielle at thenewflatrate.com.
Love that. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. You had awesome insight.
Thanks, Jen, for having me. Enjoyed the time with you.
Me too.